Welcome to the Joy of Cooking podcast. Each week, we set the table for discussion about recipes and stories from the authors of The Joy of Cooking, kitchen victories and misadventures, and what we are cooking and eating right now. We're glad you've joined us at the table today. I'm Shannon Larson, home cook, Joy of Cooking user and fan, and frozen mango enthusiast.
I'm Megan Scott, co-author of the 2019 edition of The Joy of Cooking. I'm a food editor by day and avoider of dish duty by night. And I forgot my show notes at home this week, so this should be really interesting.
That is so unlike
I know, it's so unlike me.
It's partially my fault because I kind of put them into your laptop.
Thank you for taking some of the blame.
It's all
I
John's
appreciate
fault.
it.
Speaking of, I am John Becker, fourth generation co-author and steward of The Joy of Cooking, America's oldest family-run cookbook. And if I was a spice today, I would be sumac.
Why?
Why?
I'm tangy, feeling a little tangy. When I'm at my best, I can be a little salty. And I feel like a dried out and pulverized berry.
I think that's my favorite intro of yours ever. It's so stupid.
I might be another spice next time. Who knows?
Should that be your thing now? You're just different spices depending on how you feel for the week?
It does appeal to me.
You could do that. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I could just go through the Know Your Ingredients and just look for my mood.
It reminds me of that MF Doom album, Special Herbs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Wait, we have another.
We do have another
here.
person.
I'm Sarah Marshall. I'm living my best pepper life, and I'm filling in today for our guest.
Our producer.
I'm the producer, and I'm hanging with you guys today, always willing to jump on the show and hang out. So,
Really happy to
Yeah.
have you.
Thank you for donning another hat.
Yes.
yeah, no problem.
It's the first time all four of us have just sat around the table together.
It's true.
Yeah.
I'm stoked. I'm excited about it.
I love it.
Well, after recording today, we have got Canning Club also, which is at your house conveniently. So
I know you guys might as well just move in.
Yeah.
I seriously, when my husband and I pulled up and I walked in, he's like, "Oh, you're just walking right in," and I'm
Yeah.
like, "No, I live here now."
Yeah, I mean the door is always open. Yeah, so Canning Club happens tonight. We're recording, and then we go straight into Canning Club. So just welcome,
Yeah.
welcome to my world.
all the food talk.
What did you make for Canning Club this time, Sarah?
Well, it's hot off the press. I actually made it today. I made a peach compote with peaches from Baird Farm. So it's just super simple, just peaches, sugar, lemon. I actually signed on for this catering thing, which I don't usually do, but sometimes I can't say no to people. So somebody asked me to do a little catering job next week, and I said yes. First I said I don't do catering, and then I said yes.
No, I love that.
The reason I said yes is because it's at a store I really like, which is Twist in Portland. It's this lovely jewelry store.
Dang.
And Dirk bought my wedding ring there. And I think that's the reason
Aw.
why I said yes, because I like the store, I like the people, and they are doing this event there. So they asked if I would make some appetizers for it and said that I could use all my sauces and
Oh, that's
that
cool.
it was going to be really fun and I could hang out. And I was like, okay, I'll do it.
Discount?
Yeah, I know.
That is a super deep Portland cut.
Right?
They've been around since what, like 95?
My whole life, I feel like.
Yeah.
Or my whole Portland life, anyway.
I've
Haven't
got
you bought your mom a bunch
my
of jewelry
mom,
there?
like,
Mhm.
yeah, my first girlfriend, just like tons.
Wow.
I've been there many times.
Megan's like, "Wow."
It's a lovely
So long
place.
ago.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a lovely
you-
place.
You have special taste. I don't go to Twist for you specifically. Maybe I
Fair
should.
enough.
Maybe I should give him another shot.
Oh, yeah, whatever you think.
Okay.
You're like, more jewelry?
Yeah,
Okay.
more jewelry
Yeah.
for me.
It's really nice. So one of the things I'm making, it's a dessert appetizer, is I'm making this saffron panna cotta and topping it with this peach compote
sounds
and then doing a
good.
bourbon granola on the top.
my
So it's a little
gosh.
layered thing.
Nice.
So that I made the peach compote today and then I jarred some up for Canning Club and then
Mm.
jarred the rest up for the
I wanna
catering
try
thing.
that.
Now I'm like, is this open to the public?
Yeah.
Megan and I just show up.
Unfortunately not.
You're just
Here
here
for
for jewelry.
This is kind of, I don't know, disturbing maybe, but yeah, when you said dessert appetizer, I just immediately thought of those weird hummus flavors.
What?
The, des-
What?
the, des-
Like-
the
Like
dessert,
chocolate hummus.
yeah, like chocolate hummus and all of that stuff. Anyway, sorry,
No, what she just described was way
that was
better.
so much cooler.
Yeah,
Well,
so much
no,
cooler.
The reason they didn't even really ask for a dessert appetizer, but they said that people were going to be there for a very long time and
No,
that it
I
was
like
going to be
that.
an open bar and they weren't going to have dinner. So I was like, okay, I'll make all of these appetizers. But then I was like, well, they have to have dessert. so I
something
just
sweet
sort
will
of
be
added
good.
it. Yeah. And I mean, there's like, they have to have peaches. They're so good right
The
now.
Baird peaches
Yes,
are
they're
so
so good.
incredible.
So I just had to do it.
Yeah.
And then you guys get to try the peaches too,
Oh.
because I put some out to try for
Fun.
Canning Club. Have we talked about like how Canning Club works on the show ever?
Maybe a long time ago, but we should recap.
I think we should, because
Yeah.
it might inspire people to start their
Yeah.
own.
I know. I've been telling all of my neighbors to join. I'm getting the word out. I'm like,
I've invited a few people too.
Yeah.
So far, they haven't showed up, but I remind them every month.
yeah.
Yeah. So the official name of our group is Portland Preservation Society, but everybody just calls it Canning Club. And so everybody sort of switches around who hosts it. So this week I just happened to be hosting it, but everybody else has hosted it as well. It's been at Shannon's house. It's been at Megan and John's house. And so people make whatever they feel like. They bring 5 jars of it, show up, swap. They bring something to eat, something to drink, and then whatever they want to trade.
Yeah, it's really fun because you spend a bit of time just eating and drinking with friends and catching up. And then you gather around the table and you go around in a circle and everybody gets a chance to take something different home. So you come with like 5 jars of the same thing and you come home with 5 different jars of things. So it just like helps build up your pantry.
Mhm.
And I find that it helps me really be creative about how I'm going to use things. Like I don't make some of this stuff. And so when it's in my pantry, I'm like, oh, this would be fun to do with this thing or whatever. But we've been doing it for, oh my gosh, I think like 12 or 13 years.
It's not a cult.
I think so. Yeah.
Come
I
on.
feel like it's been that
I
long.
think it's been that long.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've been doing it for a really long time. We used to do it every month. Now we're doing it quarterly. So like every season. And I think that works well too,
Mhm.
as we're getting older and people
Yeah,
have families.
every month is a lot to be
Yeah.
canning, especially during some parts of the year when there's
Right.
not as much going on.
And when most of us were in our 20s or early 30s, it was totally doable. But we're not that young anymore.
Like everything. We did it every month
Yeah.
up until the pandemic.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
everybody was like,
That's true.
maybe we don't need to do all the things all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, canning's a young person's game. Kids these days.
Tell
In
that to
Portland.
my grandma. I'll say that. I also think it's how we've met most of our friends in Portland.
That's how you and I met.
Yeah.
I picked you up because you were waiting for a
Yes.
bus. And I was like, I know her. And then
She's
that
on
was,
her way to Canning Club.
I know. And I was like, that's
And
it.
that's good because I don't think that bus was coming. Like it was already 30 minutes late and people kept coming to the bus stop and then leaving and I didn't have any way.
You
I
just
was
sat
just
there?
there. Yeah, I was just like maybe I'll walk eventually. But yeah, you stopped and picked me up and
Yeah.
that was lovely.
I
And
know.
we became friends and
Aw.
podcast co-hosts.
I know. And so many things. That's how I know you too,
Yeah.
Sarah Marshall.
I think that's how I know most of my friends.
So it's a good way to make friends.
Yeah.
So you should start your own canning club.
I do remember being skeptical at first. I think you went to a few canning clubs.
Wait, I'm
without-
sorry, you?
I
Skeptical?
think you went like 2 or 3 times before
Mhm.
you were like,
I tested the waters for you and reported
Oh my
back
God.
and gave you the full debriefing about how everything goes. I mean, you know,
it's warm.
you
It's
need
warm in here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you sometimes you just need reassurance that it's normal and people are nice and
I think
how
what,
does it work?
I think what sealed the deal was that delicious deviled chicken that Kumi made.
Mm.
Oh
was-
yeah,
that
that
was
was
what-
so good. I remember that.
Yeah,
And you ate it all.
I ate it all, and
I
then
didn't get any of it other than what I sampled at Canning Club.
yeah, and then I showed up the next canning club, and I was treating Kumi like they were an old friend. Like, oh, you made that.
I feel like I know you already.
Much. It's like we need to be friends.
What did you bring today, Shannon?
We have a lot of peppers that are coming into the garden. So I did an oil pickled pepper mixture based off of Mama Little's peppers. If you're local to the Pacific Northwest, I think you mentioned it was
They're
just a Pacific
so
Northwest
good.
thing.
Well, they're at Costco, so I feel like they must be
I don't know.
everywhere. But yeah,
Mm.
they're based here. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just like it's just a lot of vinegar and brown sugar and tons of, I add, shocking, more garlic than the recipe calls for. And then it's oil based. I don't pressure can it, so it's refrigerator stable. And so I bought some peppers from the store, but then mixed in some peppers from the garden. So it's going to be a little, it could be spicy. It could not be spicy. Who knows?
Surprise.
Yeah, it's surprise peppers. But I put Shan's Lils on the label.
I love that.
Yeah.
They're so good.
Yeah.
I gotta get a jar.
And then we forgot our hors d'oeuvre for the night, which is like a boars and cheese mixed with that and the oil. And you dip crackers or vegetables in it. Well, it's in my fridge. So we'll be eating that tomorrow.
It's the fanciest pimento cheese I've ever heard.
It's so good. And then I add canned smoked trout to it sometimes and just spread
Ooh.
that on a cracker. It's like the perfect lunch. So
Heck yeah.
I feel like you introduced at least me to the smoked trout, the
Ugh.
canned smoked trout.
I love it. Especially the Trader Joe's canned
Mhm.
smoked trout.
They
which
do
I
a good job.
about, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's delicious.
What did you two bring?
Today is like the story of what didn't we bring because this past weekend we impulse bought 30 pounds of tomatoes, sauce
That's
tomatoes.
So many tomatoes.
Yeah, and it was really just like we saw that they were available. We were at a place, they were available. We're like, "Do you have 30 pounds?" Yep. Okay, we'll take them. They were $2 a pound.
Where,
so I was
where
like,
was it?
at Tomato Fest
Oh,
at
fun.
Wellspent Market. So they were having like a tomato tasting and vendors selling tomatoey things.
Well, and when Lane Selman was on, she was talking about the tomato sorbetto that Pinolo Gelato. Was
Did you
making
guys
for
try
the event.
that?
we didn't get to try it.
The lines were so long.
Yeah,
Really?
there were a lot of lines.
No,
I
it's-
was so curious about it
Me too.
Yeah.
because I remember her talking about it, and then I saw it all over Instagram.
hmm We're not line waiting kind of
I
Not
get
lying
it.
people.
That's why I didn't go. to
Life
the
is
Tomato
short.
Fest, because I kept seeing that it was very crowded, and I was like, I was just at the farmers market. I need to
Yeah.
go home and take a nap instead. I can't.
Oh
go
yeah,
stand
you
in
had
lines.
market day. Yeah, no
Mhm.
wonder.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we did get 30 pounds of sauce tomatoes. The variety was Cuore di Bu. I'm going to say this wrong. Cuore di Bue. I am a French speaker. I do not speak Italian. It's
They
like
were beautiful.
they're beautiful. They're like lobed, these beautiful big tomatoes with these ridges on them, bright red, like just gorgeous. The name means ox heart. Is that right, John?
That is correct,
Um,
as far as I know.
so they're like beefsteak tomatoes. And we processed them all on Saturday and Sunday. And then we did just like crushed passata. So
Yeah.
just crushed tomatoes for winter because we will use those.
Yeah.
So I selfishly did not bring those to Canning Club because I was like, we're going to use all of this. I need all of this.
Mhm.
But then we
The
didn't
labor
have...
of doing it was too fresh. I feel like that's what it was.
Yes.
It's like I think there were like 4 pots on the burner, and they were all outside, thankfully, because we had enough gas burners because our friend Anna left her gas stove at our place. So we had an extra 2, then 2 pans for cooking, briefly cooking the tomatoes. So they got to like the crushable phase or stage. But yeah, it was like a lot of dishes and stuff. I feel like that's probably
Yeah, it
why you were
was-
not wanting to bring it.
Yeah, you're right. It's too fresh. So
You will use them.
we'll use
And
them.
you should bring something to Canning Club using them sometime.
Mhm.
And then
yes.
you're forgiven.
When you guys are canning, are you following the canning recipes in the Joy of Cooking book?
Yes, to some degree. There are really good canning instructions in there for like crushed or whole canned tomatoes. But we have figured out a lazier way to do crushed tomatoes that doesn't involve peeling individually, which is such a drag,
Mhm.
especially when you have like 30 pounds of tomatoes. So what we do now is like John was saying, we put them in a pot, quarter them, put them in a pot, cook them, no extra water or anything, just maybe like 5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes after they start making sizzling noises.
Just long enough so they're crushable with a potato masher. And then we mash them up, run them through a food mill on the coarsest blade, and that takes all the skins out
Oh.
and crushes them at the same time. And then we can them with like a tablespoon. We were making pints. So we did like a tablespoon of lemon juice in the jar, the tomatoes processed for 35 minutes
35 minutes for
in a
pints.
water bath. But yeah, we're following Joy's method, but we're going to add the new lazy no tomato peeling method next time.
I was at a street mural painting in my neighborhood on Sunday, and canning came up because I have some neighbors who do that. And some other neighbors were like, well, I kind of want to get into it, but I'm really nervous. And I said, Joy of Cooking 2019, that section, the canning section, is really, it's like very basic and very, it doesn't make it seem scary. I think that's a big thing. And I also recommended food in jars.
Nice.
Because that also, I feel like people are really nervous when they think about starting to can, and you don't want to be freaked out.
Yeah.
And so you just need somebody who's going to be talking to you like, you can do this. It's actually really easy. Just get your measurements right. Think about what you're processing. So yeah, I think the 2019 canning section is really great, especially for
thank
newbies.
Thanks. Yeah, with Marissa's with Food in Jars.
Yeah, Marissa.
Marissa McClellan's books. Those are also great because they're approachable because they're also fairly small batch. I feel like one of her books specifically is like micro batch, so it's not much of a commitment as far as like purchasing, and you don't have to worry too much if you're worried about things not turning out quite right. It's not like
it's a good way to experiment without.
That's how I learned.
Called Preserving by the Pint.
Yeah,
The title of the book.
And then the main Food in Jars cookbook is excellent
great.
too. Yeah. So if you are interested in canning, those are some resources.
And you guys don't know this yet, but Marissa just moved here and she's going to join our canning club, but she's also going to be on the show.
So rad. I'm so excited.
I think in November or December.
Nice.
Awesome.
We have been following her probably since like, I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Early 2010s.
Yeah, she came to a canning club years ago.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was here.
It was here because she was on her book tour, and to be able to serve her food at Powell's, she had to make it in a commercial kitchen. So she came here and made it in my kitchen. I can't remember who told her that I had a commercial kitchen. Maybe Camille from Canning Club.
Oh yeah.
And so she asked if she could come here. So then I was like, yeah, you can come here. Why don't you come on this day? And then you can come to Canning Club.
And meet all of your fans.
Meet all your fans. And so she did. She brought some books.
Yeah,
and
it was
'cause
awesome.
the book was just coming out. And so, yeah.
We're such nerds.
Yeah.
I love
We're
it.
so cool.
I love it. I mean, nerd in a very affectionate way.
Wait, so what did you bring? Really quickly.
I brought a few jars of my elderberry tincture that I foraged, and it's got like local raw honey in it. And then I brought a few jars of pickled okra, which is so good.
And that was done with a low temperature method
Mm-hmm.
where you keep it between, I think you try to keep it around
180.
180.
so it
For
still has
30,
some
for
bite.
30 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's longer processing time for at a lower temperature, and they end up like really crisp.
And then we each brought 5 jars. John and I each brought 5 jars.
Yeah.
Because I
They're-
don't know. It's the last one of the
I love
summer
that.
season. So
That's
we wanted
great.
to go big. We brought a few jars of there's a honey chamomile apricot jam. And then what was the last thing?
Whose recipe is on? I feel like
Oh, I don't remember.
Kevin West.
That sounds lovely though.
Yeah. It's really good. And then I can't remember the last thing. It's in a bag over there behind John.
I'm making
Hold on.
sure I can be like one of the first to trade so I can get some of that okra.
Well, while John is looking, he just mentioned Kevin West, and I don't think we've talked about that book before on this podcast.
That's a
but
great book.
it's one of my favorite canning books. Whenever I teach a class, I recommend it. Saving the Season is the name of the
Yeah.
book, and Kevin West is the author. We'll put it in the show notes, but it's one of my favorite canning books, so we'll definitely recommend that one.
Do you have that one?
I don't have that one.
I highly recommend, and it's great because the writing is really good, and he includes like poems and excerpts
Oh.
from literature related to the fruits that he's talking about. So it's very like
That's lovely.
it's nice to read and to look at. and
Yeah.
the recipes are really fun and good. Yeah, recommend
for
that.
us that like cookbooks, like we do novels, like we just like flip through them page by page.
Beautiful and fun.
The last thing was cocktail cherries that we
Oh,
brought.
nice.
So just like some nice local preserved cherries in a syrup for cocktails.
And that's perfect for like the winter months when people are
Mhm.
having Manhattans or whatever for
Yeah.
the holiday. You thought through all that.
What has everybody been, other than like thinking about Canning Club, what has everybody been cooking just for dinner this week?
Well, I was going to talk about what I'm cooking actually tonight because I was inspired by John's green chili, using all the green chilies because the Peppered Earth people came by my booth at the farmer's market. And at the end of the day, they'll sometimes do this where if they don't sell all their peppers, they'll just come by and be like, hey, do you want some peppers?
Whoa.
Which is like the best.
Never
Sometimes
said no.
farmers market life is the best life. So the variety they gave me was called Miss June. So it's like heat level 4. It was all green. And the recipe that I am making tonight is from Carolyn Chambers. So she has a Substack. She's written a couple books too called What to Cook When You Don't Feel Like Cooking.
Oh,
And
yeah.
her Substack is actually the highest rated Substack on all of Substack. She has the most
Wow.
subscribers, which is wild. But her recipes are always pretty easy and simple. So the recipe I'm trying tonight is like these chicken patties, but her recipe is to do like big chicken patty burgers, but I'm going to do just little mini ones as an appetizer to put out at Cannon Club. And I'm using the green chilies. But my question for you guys, because I use green chilies, I feel like in a different way for sauce making. So when you use green chilies, like roasted at the market, so I feel like they do all the hard work, right? They're like roasting them in these big roasters. They give them to you in these bags. It just kind of looks like these little like sooty peppers, But then when you process them to cook food, do you like take off the tops, right? They're all
Mhm.
covered in ash. Do you take the seeds out? Do you take the skins off? Do you rinse them off? What's your process?
Yeah, I know that I feel like this might, I don't know if it'll get us in trouble or me in trouble, but I have heard that people swear by like not rinsing them off
Mm-hmm.
to keep the smoky flavor or
Mhm.
whatever. But
I bet it permeate. It definitely permeates.
like it does.
The flesh.
yeah, I don't, maybe I just don't know what I'm missing, but they taste pretty smoky to me and I really enjoy them. But yeah, I see them usually under like some, I'll just turn the faucet on, like not on high, but just enough to,
To like rinse them.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
So getting some of the seeds out, but not all.
I mean,
Or
if
do you
there,
go-
if,
We're
there,
not-
if there are some seeds in there, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, we're not
Yeah.
like
I
super
don't
picky
get
about it.
super picky. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's
I
what
was-
we do.
I wasn't sure. So, like for sauce making, because a lot of times I'm using like a Vitamix, so it doesn't really matter. I can even just, if I want a really smoky sauce, I'll just throw them in. I'll take the stems off,
Mm-hmm.
but I'll like leave the seeds sometimes. I'll leave the skins if I want it to be really smoky because it doesn't really matter. But then for this, I was like, I don't think I want all that stuff in there. So then I was trying to just scrape it off and I was like, this is too hard,
Yeah.
And I have heard, not to rinse it underwater,
Mhm.
that people like think it's like blasphemy, to do that. But I couldn't get all the stuff off, So I was like, it might be too much in these chicken burgers. So what I did was I rinsed the outside and then I cut the tops off and then I scraped the seeds out with a knife.
That sounds good.
That was my technique.
That's
Yeah.
what I would do.
And then I chopped it up.
especially
into
because I
little
don't want to
pieces.
take the skins off. That's too much work.
Well, the
just
skins
slip
they
right
slip
off.
right
Oh,
off.
the skin. The
They-
chill-
they're
okay.
charred
That's
and
what you're talking about. Okay.
They
steamed.
slip right off. That was easy,
Okay.
but I did it underwater,
So it got rid of the maybe.
so it got rid of it.
Okay.
But I was like, how would? Because I tried to just scrape it off, and I was like, this is too hard.
Yeah.
But when I did it underwater, it just came
Yeah,
right
it just
off.
comes right off.
Yeah, no, that's super easy to deal with in the sink. Maybe we should do a side by side.
Yeah, we should try.
Side
We
by
should try
side.
it differently.
For-
I didn't know
Science.
what your technique was.
One technique that I came upon, let's see, I guess it was last year. I have a blowtorch, and so I was trying to use it to do the chilies, and it takes a really long time. And, the blowtorches, the ones that they have at the market are really impressive, but I don't think they're really putting out the same BTUs as like a welding torch does.
Yeah.
And so, it's not really cooking the flesh hardly at all when you're done like charring the skin. I put it in the microwave for like a little bit, and it worked like a charm.
So you put the chilies.
Yeah, once they were charred with a blowtorch, then I put them in the microwave. I'm trying to remember like how long it was, but I think that New Mexico State University, I actually did some digging, and they actually have that as like a officially approved process for getting the skins off of green chilies. So
So that's your hack.
that was but yeah, it's not mine, I guess, but
Yeah.
it definitely worked.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a good hack. I just hadn't really processed them that way. I just,
Toss them
throw
in.
everything in the Vitamix. It was new for me.
This week I think the most delicious thing I made this week was a tomato egg stir fry.
Ooh.
It's so good and it's so like easy. You just kind of scramble a couple of eggs. You cook the eggs first, but leave them still a little bit, not like runny, but soft. And then in the same pan, you take the eggs out, you add some sesame oil, you add some like tomato wedges, small wedges, and then whatever seasonings. So like I was using chicken bouillon powder and what else? I can't remember. That was like the main flavoring is sesame oil and chicken bouillon powder. And then like saute the tomatoes until they lose some of their moisture, but they're still pretty fresh. And then you add the egg back in and toss everything together and top it with green onions and serve it over rice.
Oh, that sounds great.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. And takes like 10 minutes.
That reminds me, the best thing, we were traveling this past week and very busy, but the best meal we made this past week was we rarely eat steak, but we got a New York strip and we put it on the grill. I'm in charge of that. I do make a better steak than John. And then we paired it with just bruschetta and a toasted baguette. And bruschetta, why am I not making that more often? Like,
So good.
it's so good. It's super filling. It's beautiful at this time of year because the tomatoes are so good. Speaking of tomatoes. So it was like the perfect dinner. It was just little baguette, bruschetta, and steak. And it was perfect.
Do you put basil in? What all?
Yeah,
do you
we
put
have
in
a
there?
ton of basil in the garden, so we added that in. And
Are you mixing up like a kind of a chunky bruschetta type salsa ish thing?
Oh yeah, it's chunky.
Okay,
Chunky.
got it.
Yeah, but I just haven't been making it, and I'm like, why am I sleeping on bruschetta? It's so
I love
simple
it
and
when
so
you
good.
remember something like that. Like, actually, this is great. Why am I not making it all the time?
Yeah, and John was like, "Well, that's an appetizer," and I'm like, "It doesn't have to be an
Mhm.
appetizer. We can just make it a meal. Let's figure it
Yeah.
out." So
Yeah, bigger slices of bread.
yeah, and some steak.
That's interesting. I feel like bruschetta and pan con tomate are both they're like two versions of both. Like one of them is where, like in the bruschetta case, you dice up the tomato and you mix it with some garlic and some basil and some olive oil and salt and what have you. And then with pan con tomate, that version is like, you grate the tomato and then add garlic and olive oil and salt. But then like there's the other version where you're actually just rubbing the toast with garlic, which really makes it super duper spicy. And that's the one that I was
More like
introduced
Spanish, right?
to. Or yeah, and the bruschetta as well.
Mhm.
Like that's how I was introduced to bruschetta, at least. Was like, you do the toast and then rub the garlic, and it's just, yeah, I don't know. I don't know which one I like more. I feel like the convenience factor is nice for spooning on
Yeah.
the tomato.
Is there a bruschetta technique and recipe in Joy of Cooking?
Yeah, it's been there since.
I haven't looked at it in a while.
It's been there since the 97 edition, pretty
Mhm.
sure. And that's just like the rub the garlic on the toast
Mhm.
method.
Yeah, the 97 edition was really Italian heavy because our editor at the time was Italian American. So a lot of Italian stuff made it into the 97.
It wouldn't surprise me if the bruschetta recipe was something that Ethan wanted to add, because at the time, one of his close friends, their daughter had married somebody from Italy who had come over to the house quite a few times and had made bruschetta. And yeah, it was
It was all the rage.
It was a thing. It was definitely definitely a thing at the house at that point.
I feel like, though, it's one of those 90s recipes that still carries over. Today.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a simple thing that, especially in Portland, it's like you can only really make that in the summer
Right.
during like a specific time of year and have it be good. I mean, you
Right.
can make it anytime, but you see it on a lot of menus
Mhm.
only a certain time of year.
Exactly.
In restaurants and for your home garden or whatever. There's only a month where it's really good.
Mhm. Yeah.
I just feel like we should all be eating more of it.
Mhm.
we should.
Simple, and don't think of it as an appetizer. It can be a meal.
Yeah. And I mean, if you live in California, you're going to have a totally different viewpoint. You're going to be like, we can eat that all the time.
I mean,
Yeah.
my mother lives in Florida. She's like getting so many tomatoes from the garden in like March, and I'm like, okay, well, that's not us.
Yeah.
So
Don't talk to me.
No.
Don't you know what seasonality is? Jeez.
we're hiding inside with it gray and wet outside.
We also cooked a bunch of eggplant this week. I swear we cooked eggplant this week.
I harvested eggplant last night.
Nice.
Eggplant.
It's eggplant time. What kind did you plant this year?
It's the long Japanese eggplants. Yeah.
Those are so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the time we got around to getting starts, all they had left was a little I think the variety is called Littlefinger, but they're like super small.
Yeah.
Like they only get maybe 6 inches long, 8 inches.
Yeah.
But they're perfect for broiling and also frying. So we did the fish fragrant eggplant that we've talked about on the podcast before, but it's this fantastic Szechuan recipe, and we make it from Fuchsia Dunlop's book. What is the book? Food of Szechuan?
I'm almost
you guys have
positive
talked
that
about
you're
this.
correct.
Yeah, we've definitely
Yeah.
talked about it. It's been a while, but it's called fish fragrant eggplant. There's no fish in it, but it's like the flavorings is what it's referring to. And so you cut the eggplant, you kind of fry it, and then you remove it from the oil, and then you make a flavorful sauce, and then toss the eggplant back into the sauce and coat it, and it gets all sticky, and it's just it's a fantastic dish.
It's really good. And when we were making it this time around, I was just like, we need to be fish fragranting more things.
I thought about that recipe the other day because Foglight Farms, who are my neighbors, they're across from me at the farmers market, but they have these little mini eggplants,
Ooh.
and they're like, rather than long, they're like short and squatty. So they
Mhm.
almost are the shape of like a Roma tomato, but smaller. But they're so, I don't know what variety they are, but they don't ever get any bigger. That's like the size
Wow.
that they are. They're like purple and white. They're
Oh,
beautiful.
pretty.
But I thought that would be the perfect way
Mhm.
to use them. So I think that's what I'll make this week.
Yeah.
I know that's supposed to come at the end, but jumping ahead.
Well, we're a little off template this week. We don't have a guest, so yeah, I think it's fine. We can talk about whatever we want.
Doing what we
Well,
want.
Yeah.
Well, since we're doing what we want, I do want to call out, we had dinner at Lovely's 50/50
Again.
again. And just want to call out the chamomile toffee nut crunch ice cream that they have there. It is just fantastic. It's an odd combination, I think. I had it there before where I'm almost positive that they were putting a chocolate chunk type situation in there as well. So I ended up ordering it with like some fudge sauce on it, and it was really, really good.
Yeah.
Chamomile
And
ice cream. You heard it here first.
Cantaloupe ice cream, which is another one where I'm like, I need to know what sorcery she uses to get that, because it tastes so rich of cantaloupe, but it's very creamy. I mean, it's ice cream and it's very soft and creamy and delightful, but it tastes so much of cantaloupe, and I feel like adding cantaloupe to ice cream would make it super icy and
Right.
hard. So I just need to know. Do you think the chef would tell me, Sarah?
I think Sarah would tell you, but I think I know. Well, I know how she makes the chamomile because she actually uses like chamomile flowers. And I think the cantaloupe ice cream, I think she dehydrates the cantaloupe.
Oh, okay.
And I only know that because I think she's talked about it
Mm-hmm.
at the market. But she would tell you. She would tell you any of the things. We should have her on the show.
Yeah, we
That
should
would be
have her
really
on the
fun.
show.
It's hard to pin her down, but
Yeah.
we can try for sure. Yeah.
We should get some pizza.
Yes.
I'll make a note.
Okay.
I'll ask. We'll see.
Yeah, we went last night because I was moderating a cookbook event at Vivian, our
Yay.
friend of the pod, Vivian Culinary Books, who we love. It was for a cookbook called Heartland Masala. The authors it's a mother and son team, and they're so delightful and so funny and charming. And we had a great time, but then it was kind of late, so we needed to just get dinner out.
Oh,
and
darn. You had to go to
I was like,
Lovely's.
they're open until 10, so
I guess we have to.
we
great
have
choice.
to go.
Yeah, nice choice. I was going to say, I was there at the event and it was really, really nice. And you were the moderator and you did a great job. It was great to see you in action and me in the room. I stood by John. You did a good job. I think it's hard sometimes to get up in front of people, of course. You did so good. And did you know them before this?
Just through email,
email.
Communication.
Well,
Yeah.
it felt like you were friends.
Aw.
It felt like you were, like you knew them. You were able to, bring out their stories and have them really talk and feel comfortable in that space because, of course, you knew people there, but they didn't, And so I just think it was a really nice evening. It was so lovely. I think they felt really welcomed and were able to open up and talk about their process and the recipes and what a cool book and cool journey they've been on. And they're going to be on the podcast soon.
Yeah, I think in a few weeks.
So people will know more about that. But yeah, it was a really fun event.
Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yay.
I just kind of black out when I'm in front of people. Seriously, like
No,
I
yeah,
almost
yeah.
go into like a different
The public
place.
speaking like blackout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
I was just talking about that with like a coworker today. Just pretend you're somewhere else.
Mhm.
I'm sure that they were doing the same thing.
Mhm.
Ion and Jyoti were,
Mhm.
how many different events was it? Was it like 43 different event.
I think it was like a 40, they're doing like a 40-day
A
book
40-day.
tour.
Oh my
So
God.
very long and all over the country. So, and that's really challenging. But I think after a while, you sort of get your spiel down and it's a little less, everything's get a little less scary as
and
you go.
just black out a little.
Yeah, you just dissociate. It's fine.
Oh, that's just so exhausting. That's incredible. that
Yeah,
they
it's
do.
impressive.
Yeah.
We kind of joked around about like working together on a cookbook project as like people, like it was him and his mom. And then we talked about me and John working together and how like it's great, but you also have a lot of conflict
Yeah,
because you both have
Family.
really strong feelings about the decisions being made. So I'm sure we'll talk about that when they're on the podcast, but it was fun and they're delightful.
And I thought it was like a good example of like it's so important for people, I think, anytime, but right now especially, to just gather and talk about food and talk about love and talk about family and talk
Mhm.
about how important it is to cook and be together. And it just like, I feel like everybody left with like a full heart, and
Yeah.
Robin made all this food and it was just really lovely, and I think that's what everyone needs right now.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah,
More
I
of
had
that.
a nice little glow this morning, I have to say. It was nice.
You were glowing.
Well, yeah,
Can't you
So
tell?
to speak.
in a certain way, in a sumaki kind of way.
Oh, hello. I just wanted to take a moment to tell you about an easy way to enhance your meals. Whether they are a healthy vegan grain bowl or that late night snack we'll pretend didn't happen the next day, and that easy way is Marshall's Hot Sauce. For 15 years, chef and cookbook author Sarah Marshall has been hand making and bottling these delicious sauces. She works directly with local farmers and highlights the lovely flavors of fresh seasonal produce. They're gluten-free, there are no additives, dyes, waxes, or binders, and they have mouth-watering combinations like serrano ginger lemongrass, or habanero carrot curry, or even whiskey smoked ghost, which was featured on Hot Ones. So head on over to marshallshotsauce.com, that's Marshall's, HAUTESAUCE.com, and see all the available sauces and spice blends. Oh, that's right. Sarah's created spice packets by dehydrating and freeze-drying actual produce, so you can impart flavor to your food with more vegetables. But that's a story for another day. Find all of these delicious creations at marshallshotsauce.com and enter HOTJOY, that's one word, capital H, AUTE, capital JOY, one word, at checkout for 20% off. That's HOTJOY at checkout for 20% off. And now, back to the show.
Should we answer our caller question?
Yeah,
for the
let's
week?
do it.
All right. So every week we answer a caller question, and this week we are talking about frozen treats. Sarah, can you read the question?
Are there any snack foods you can eat frozen besides things like grapes and fruit?
Yes.
This was kind of a challenging one, to be honest.
It's hard to get out of the dessert space.
Yeah.
Or the, candy space.
And like honestly, that question just made me think of my intro thing where I just like the bags of frozen mango from
Mhm.
Trader Joe's, and I just snack on those, like especially when I'm feeling like a little bit tired in the middle of the afternoon. So I'm actually curious about this too because I tend to go towards frozen fruit all the time
Mhm.
or popsicles.
Have you had the it's called Fruit Riot, but they're like we found them at Costco, but we haven't been able to find them there since. It's these frozen grapes that are coated in like citric acid.
Wait, I've heard of this.
So
Yeah,
they're
we told you about this
sour.
before.
Oh yeah.
I feel like you gave us a weird look. Like, what are you?
I always give you a weird look.
Well, true. Fair enough.
I tried them at your guys' house.
Yes, you did.
Right?
That's right. I think we did try
So
them.
yeah, so it's a grape coated in like sour candy powder.
Yeah.
Is what it seems like to
Mhm.
me.
So
It's
good.
pretty rad.
So it started from like a TikTok trend
Mm.
where moms were making these candy coated grapes, frozen grapes for their kids. And then somebody turned it into a business. And now they're selling it at Costco, apparently.
Brilliant.
But yeah, it's brilliant.
Very
They're so
smart,
good. And
whoever did that.
they're like warheads, but for adults or something. I don't know.
They're grapes. They're healthy.
Yeah, they're grapes.
Right?
They're healthy. They're so good though.
It's the new carob.
The new carrot.
Yeah.
Frozen candy coated grapes. Basically, I had trouble with this one. Though
Mhm.
a few things I thought of like John said, it was hard to get out of the dessert space because I think of freezing like I want to freeze peanut butter cups and York peppermint patties.
Oh, those are so good.
They're so good frozen, or Junior Mints. Like there's a movie theater in Portland that you can get chilled Junior Mints at, and it's like my favorite thing in the world. It's like it's cold, even colder than normal. I love it. And like we'll make and freeze brownies because I love the texture of like a fudgy frozen brownie. But the one other snack I could think of is yogurt bark. So basically you line a sheet pan with parchment paper, and then you take whatever yogurt you want. It can be plain, you can get sweetened with fruit, or you can just add honey yourself and then spread it out in a thin layer on the parchment paper. And you can top it with stuff like you could top it with sliced or chopped fruit, you could top it with chocolate chips or sprinkles or whatever, and then you freeze it, and then you can break it apart and just eat it from frozen. So it's like a frozen snack that's just made of yogurt and whatever else you want to put on it. So that's kind of a fun frozen treat.
Well, yeah, you brought up pickle pops when we were discussing this too,
I
and
was gonna say any
yeah.
savory options. So
well, yeah, there are. I found some savory options from older editions, which you might not find appetizing, but
I love hearing about them.
But let's talk about pickle pops.
yeah, pickle
Yeah.
pops
briefly.
are delicious.
We first had pickle pops at this little like drive-in restaurant in Wyoming that I can't remember the name of.
Mm.
But it's in Thermopolis,
Thermopolis, yeah.
Wyoming, which is like a little town that is known for its hot springs. So you basically go to visit the springs. But there's this really sweet little drive-in restaurant, and they have like burgers and hot dogs and stuff like that, and ice cream. On their menu, they had pickle pops with like no explanation at all. And so the first time we went, we were like, well, we have to get a pickle pop because we were kind of expecting that it was going to be like a pickle on a stick that was frozen or something. But it's just a popsicle that's made of pickle brine. And they're using like whatever. I mean, it's probably like Clausen or whatever, but it's delicious. We got the pickle pop and a malted chocolate shake.
Yeah, chocolate malt. Yeah.
The combination
Really?
is so good. I mean, maybe this is just us, but the salt, it was like the salty sour with the sweet malty.
Mhm.
It's like when you dip French
the French fry
fries
in a
into
chocolate
the
cream.
chocolate shake.
The best.
Yeah, you just trade off with your dining companion. Just a little popsicle time, little chocolate malt time. I mean,
Very romantic.
double fisting with like, an entire chocolate malt, an entire pickle pop. I don't know. It might be a little too much. So yeah, you need to do this. It's like a team effort
Yeah,
for sure.
but
Oh,
highly
I know
recommend the pickle
that
pop.
place is called Dairyland.
Dairyland.
Yes,
Dairyland.
Dairyland and Hot City Coffee. Same
Sounds
establishment.
magical.
It's a pretty magical little place. Deeply weird
In
and magical.
Thermopolis.
In Thermopolis, Wyoming.
Honestly, Dairyland and Thermopolis sounds amazing.
Yeah, we'll link them in the show notes
Yeah.
so people can check it out.
Yeah.
Because and now
Definitely
I
check it
feel
out.
like inspired to do all kinds of pickle pops. Like I want
Yeah.
to try. I mean, I want to freeze all my extra pickle brine now
That's
because
a-
I usually just like put it in the fridge and I'm like, oh, I'll add this I'll make salad dressing. I'll do whatever. And now I'm gonna make pickle pops with it.
Should we have a pickle pop before like every podcast?
Maybe
We should try different
I mean,
brines.
Yeah.
why not? I want to make spicy ones, of course.
Yes. I'm also now thinking this is not really
Bread
a
and butter.
snack.
Is that a thing? Bread and butter.
You
pickle
could
pop?
try it.
Mm.
Maybe mix it. Maybe mix it
not?
half and half with the sour. I
Yeah.
feel like
Oh,
by
you
itself
could
it might
do,
be too.
like those Johnny Pops that are like
Ooh.
layered. That are like rainbow, but you could do like sweet and sour mix. Then it would like
Sweet, sour, spicy.
Yeah.
Or
Mhm.
whatever.
maybe we just came up with a new business.
You'll find us in Costco in about
Dirk
3
will,
months.
Dirk will come up from downstairs and be like, "Stop coming up with new business ideas.
Tired.
No more.
No more, please."
But now I'm thinking that pickle brine frozen in just ice cube trays would be great for like Bloody Marys and stuff.
Yes, I
Sure.
think that's a great
Yeah.
idea. When I heard this question, I just kept going into like cocktail realm, which I was like, does a daiquiri count? I don't
Yeah.
know, like frozen daiquiri, like because I don't really eat like sweet treats. My kid does though. Like I've always made her frozen popsicles, and my mom was like hippie mom, so I went into like what did my mom make? Like those Do you remember those push-up pops?
Oh my God. I used to eat
Yes.
those at the drive-in
Those
movie
are so
theater.
Yeah.
good.
So I loved those, but then my mom would make me the version in like a paper cup, with like a popsicle stick. It was
Fred
not the
Flintstone was
same.
not on it.
Yeah. She was like, here, I'll make you this not as good version,
We love you, Pat.
Yeah, I know. She is the best, but those treats were not great. But then I was thinking about like those freezer door cocktail things where
Yeah.
it's like a pre-mixed cocktail or like a pre-frozen cocktail, which I've never made. Have you guys made those?
Nope.
Well, I think I might start.
Yeah.
Let's try it out. I know. I was thinking
Thinking we could have it ready for podcasting.
Yeah.
Just, like pre-mixed slushy cocktail already in there.
Yeah.
There's that like viral tomato martini, and I was like, that
Yeah.
could be really because I freeze my tomatoes when I have too many or when they start to like split, for
Mhm.
example. So I have like a bag every year of frozen tomatoes. That could be a really fun, interesting way to think about how to use those, like
Mhm.
grating them
Mhm.
into like I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not the cocktail maker.
See,
in my
I know
family,
we
so.
got rid of the tasting segment, which is totally okay. But what if we had like a cocktail segment where it was like frozen or refrigerator door, freezer door cocktails that you guys just tried when you came over?
I mean,
I'm
and
in.
pickle pops,
Right?
Yeah, and pickle pop.
hand them over. We're
Just
good.
an idea.
Get inebriated but also stay hydrated and keep your electrolytes.
I can make
where they should
NA
be.
versions. I mean,
Yeah.
anytime I make things, I usually have to make another version for my child
Right.
because she doesn't want to be left out. So we can do, both things. And you can
Exactly.
choose your own journey. I'm not
Choose your own
trying to push
adventure.
booze on everybody. I just want to have a good time.
Oh, before we get into the funky historical stuff, another thing that I found while poking around on the internet was people just taking like containers of yogurt and you like stick a spoon just into the middle of the yogurt cup and then you put it in the freezer and freeze the whole thing and then you can like pull it out like a
Oh,
big yogurt popsicle. That seemed like a good idea. I
that's
mean,
actually.
if you get really good yogurt and it's flavored, yogurt popsicle.
I mean, if it's, does yogurt come in like paper cups anymore, or is it all plastic?
I think it's mostly plastic.
Okay. Well, either way,
But
I
it'd
guess
be
you could
easy to
take it
pull it out.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, John, it's your time.
Well, yeah, that's kind of reminiscent of something that Irma suggested just a really simple frozen fruit dessert where you take just a can of fruit and then you put it in the freezer for a while. And then you open the can, plop it out, and then cut it into slices and then put whipped cream on it.
Whoa. Okay. But you put the whole can?
Yeah,
How does the fruit come out?
that's a good question. I would imagine you maybe soften the outside, but I actually did not clip that, so I can't answer that. Sorry, but
Thanks.
but I did find some savory options. In the 1931 edition,
Oh, this is
there's
gonna be interesting.
frozen aspic. Yeah, tomato aspic. It's frozen into ice cube trays. So, nice
Can you
little
just
order.
describe what an aspic is?
Well, it is just a jellied salad.
Savory gelatin.
Yeah, savory
Like
gelatin.
so many of the I watched a fun Instagram video today of someone recreating one of those like 1950s gelatin recipes where there's all these layers. So you do like a layer of black olive slices and a layer of pimento peppers and then a layer of cooked chicken and a layer of peas. And you just keep going. And it must have taken hours. Like it must, because you have to let every layer set. Otherwise, everything just floats around.
Right.
Well, I think that you let the gelatin get to a certain level of being set, and then you can start like doing. I don't know
Yeah,
exactly
I
how
haven't
you
made
get
enough.
distinct layers.
I haven't made enough aspic things to know.
I mean, I think that like if you just let the jello uniformly set to not quite set, but just kind of set, then you can get like an even distribution of stuff. But the layers, that's like next level. Never mind. But yeah, the frozen aspic definitely not that elaborate. It's just tomato aspic that's been put into an ice cube tray. Then there was a frozen lobster, salmon, crab meat, or chicken salad. So many options here. I mean, that alone, just
Wait,
Yeah.
read the title again.
Shannon and I are both making scared faces at each
We're
other.
staring at each other like, oh, God.
frozen lobster, salmon, crab meat, or chicken salad.
So you like, let's say you make chicken salad and you just freeze it.
Well, no. It is kind of like an aspic in that, there's gelatin involved. There's also chicken stock involved. Then also a cream sauce. and 1 cup of your chosen seafood or poultry, cooked meat, and a little salt, little nutmeg. Then
Why nutmeg?
well, of course. I mean, it's just like that secret, oh, what is that?
Secret
little
ingredient.
But yeah, then you whip some cream, stiff peaks, and then you put in some mayonnaise. I should just stop now.
Oh, mayonnaise. Sarah's
That makes it
favorite thing.
better.
You freeze it in a refrigerator tray, then serve it on lettuce or romaine, garnished with pimentos and chives optional. I would personally add the chives.
Oh no, I think there's too many things in there
I
already.
think that's too much. It's taking it too far.
Yeah.
Then
I
there
barely
was,
made it through that.
You will not make it through this one. Frozen pineapple cheese salad. Softened cream cheese gets beat with 1 cup of mayonnaise, and then 1 cup of drained pineapple, crushed drained pineapple, a little bit of sugar. You whip up some cream, fold it into the other ingredients, and then you put it into a mold.
I'm very uncomfortable with the mingling of mayonnaise and sweet ingredients. Like it
Yeah.
sounds like it's supposed to be sweet, and the cream cheese and pineapple, that sounds fine. But when you get to the mayonnaise, that's when you lose me.
Well, I'm just thankful that it's not some sort of mayonnaise type sauce that you're putting on afterwards. At least it's incorporated into never mind.
No.
I feel like now what would happen though is that somebody would take that exact same recipe and they would put it in the freeze dryer, and then it would be this thing that would like dissolve in your mouth, and it would just be like a new version of something old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it would be on TikTok. And
You should
people
do
would
it.
be
You
into
should
it.
try it. You have a freeze dryer.
I could.
You'd have to
I could
freeze
do
dry
it.
You'd have to buy
mayo.
I would have to leave that out.
I feel
But
like
I could do
send-
the
I
other
could send this
parts
to you,
of it.
you
Yes. Okay. Well, let's put that on the table. We could come back to that. Maybe.
potential business
Potential.
idea.
Maybe somebody listening would want to do it. But there's a lot of people that like that's their thing is like
Right.
they do these freeze drying videos and they'll try anything. But like there's a lot of stuff like that where it's like we took this old thing and we freeze dried it and you can eat it. But cheese is a big one.
Freeze dried
Oh.
cheese?
Yeah, because people will take it like back
Yeah.
packing and whatever, and like all the people that are into like I gotta get all my protein while
Yeah.
I'm on the trail.
I would eat that a lot backpacking.
Clearly not me.
Those little freeze dried Parmesan rounds from like Trader Joe's.
Oh,
and
yeah,
stuff.
the
They weigh like
Crispies.
nothing and they're so good and salty.
Mm-hmm.
It's the free. I can get behind that. I can get behind freeze dried pineapple. 1,000%. That
Mhm.
sounds fantastic. Freeze dried mayo.
Mm.
Yeah, that's why I was saying leave the mayo out.
Yeah,
but
leave the
try
mayo
the
out.
other stuff together. Maybe.
Pineapple and like freeze dried parm sounds great.
There you
I
go.
feel like we just found a loophole. Frozen snacks, freeze dried. So
Yeah.
Kind of. It
Just buy
kind
a
of.
freeze dryer.
I feel like we
Mhm.
should all just be eating like pickle pops. Honestly.
Yes. Yeah.
I think pickle pops was the thing we were meant to bring to
Yeah.
as the solution to
Yeah.
the freeze dry. John, did you go over all your frozen things?
yeah, for the most part.
I was going to mention one local business. They're called Pistachio. They make pistachio.
Oh, that stuff
Butter?
is so good.
It's so good. And they have a series they're doing right now, which is they're making a vegan snack every day and tagging Billie Eilish in it until she notices. It's like, I don't know how they're getting views or whatever. But they're making a lot of vegan snacks that are frozen. So people can look at that. And it's a lot of like chocolate covered bananas that are covered in their pistachio nut butter and things
Ooh.
like that. So there was a lot of tips that I thought people could get for frozen snacks.
Yeah, just like, sliced bananas that have been coated in chocolate. That would
Yeah.
be a delicious
Mhm.
frozen snack for sure.
Mhm.
Oh, that just reminded me of another thing I tested. I tested a recipe this summer. It's online on simplyrecipes.com. They're like Ritz cracker ice cream sandwiches. So they're like mini ice cream sandwiches made with Ritz crackers. And you just take one of the crackers, you put a little bit of peanut butter on it, just a tiny bit, and then a tiny scoop of ice cream and another Ritz cracker. You freeze that and then drizzle chocolate on.
Okay, that sounds
So,
incredible.
They're really good.
'Cause
They're
it's salty,
they're
and buttery. Yeah.
and they hold up. I was a little worried they would get soggy really fast, but I feel like they held up really well for up to 3 weeks, and they won't last. They're so good, and they're so like you can just eat one after the other because they're really small.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah,
vouch for that.
they're
They
great.
were good.
That sounds
And
really
you
good.
It was hard to stop
Mm-hmm.
because it is snack size. It's like
Yeah.
a snack size ice cream sandwich.
Mm-hmm. what's next week's topic, Sarah? What's the question?
I just got a new job and I'm moving soon and trying to eat all my pantry items. I've got a ton of instant ramen. Do you have ideas to make it fun?
That's an awesome question. Very excited to answer that. Is Peter Kim on our show next week?
Sure is.
Wait,
Nice.
what?
Mhm.
I'm so excited for
strange.
this.
Yeah, so next week we'll tackle that with Peter Kim, who just wrote a cookbook called Instant Ramen Kitchen.
Mhm.
So excited. That'll be very fun. If you have a topic, ingredient, or joy story to share, call our hotline at 503-395-8858. Leave us a message or send us a text. We'd love to hear from you. And we should chat about, so this past week's Joy Scouts recipe was the apple dumplings. On page 688, we bought all the things to make the apple dumplings today, but we haven't made them yet, but we're going to. It's 90 degrees here
I know.
today. It's weird. It's like September. It's not supposed to be 90 degrees.
And we had one cool rainy day, and I was like, yes, it's
So
fall.
nice.
And it was, tricked me.
But we're going to make it later this week. And so we've made them before, but we will report back. One thing I was thinking, though, is that in the recipe, we say you can use like 6 small apples or 3 large ones that you cut in half. Modern apples are so big.
Mhm.
They're
Mhm.
huge. They're like too big, I think. we've gone
Why
too
are they
far.
so big?
I don't know the
It's-
answer
it's
to
a
this.
Big apple.
It's all big
It's
apple.
big apple.
It goes to the top, Sarah.
Actually, I was at the store trying to decide on apples, just a regular supermarket, Kroger, Fred Meyer, and they had a bunch of bags of snack-sized apples, which I thought was that was the first time
Well,
I
I
had taken it in,
I
and
spoke
really,
too soon.
Are snack size just like normal apples?
yeah. One of them was like the packaging made me believe that they were breeding them to be small, but they were like not crab apples. Obviously, they were normal.
So the pendulum is swinging, is what you're
Maybe.
saying.
I mean, I don't know. With Honeycrisp, I mean that is like
Those are
they're
huge.
huge, and they're very, very popular. So I don't know if the pendulum is swinging away from Honeycrisp, but it was interesting to see so many small apples. I mean, it was like
We're very cool.
Yes. So
we
rad.
got our fingers on the pulse, folks.
And this week's Joy Scouts recipe, since we were talking about how we both, John and I, like fudgy brownies that are frozen, the recipe we're assigning this week is the fudgy brownie recipe on page 765. It's a new one to the 2019 edition. So kind of what happened was there is a very old brownie recipe in Joy that it's been there forever. I can't remember when it was first introduced to the book, but John is like looking it up right now. But, people are really attached to it. We've heard a lot from people that they love that recipe. And so we figured they would be really upset if we took it out, even though, in my opinion, it's not my ideal brownie. It's not as chocolatey as I like. I think because when it was introduced, chocolate was so expensive that you just didn't use a lot of it. So we kept that recipe, not to make anyone mad, but we also introduced a new fudgy brownie recipe. So for all the fudgy brownie lovers, this is a great recipe. It's on page 765. If you make it, please tag us at The Joy of Cooking on Instagram. We would love to see what you make.
1931 is when it was first
Sarah's mom has just
published.
arrived.
Come on in, Mom. It's okay.
Hi, Pat.
We're going to just finish real quick, Mama. Mhm.
The brownie recipe was in the first edition. So
Yeah. So that explains the low chocolate.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It was very expensive. That was during the Great Depression.
I'm sure it changed a little. I mean, I think most people are probably thinking of the 1975 edition's recipe, and I think that's a brownies cocaine recipe.
Mhm.
So I'm sure that one's slightly different. But yeah, we've had brownies since the beginning. That's all.
Thanks for listening to the Joy of Cooking podcast. Before we go, show some love for your favorite podcast by subscribing to the show and leaving us a review. Follow us at joyofcooking.substack.com and on Instagram at thejoyofcooking. Stay tuned for next week, where we will tackle ramen using instant ramen. And don't forget to make this week's recipe, fudgy brownies, on page 765. Call in with questions, hopes, history, or where you find joy in the kitchen. Our number is 503-395-8858. That's 503-395-8858.
And we couldn't do this without our fantastic team at the Joy of Creation production house. Thank you to Dave Drusky, our production coordinator, Haley Bowers, our audio engineer, and Sarah Marshall, our producer and special guest.
If you love the stories we bring you each week, please consider supporting us on Patreon. As an independent media company, your support is absolutely essential. It allows us to continue creating high-quality professional episodes that amplify the voices of women, small business owners, writers, artists, and creatives, and keep their stories free from commercial pressure. By becoming a Patreon member, you're not just supporting us, you're investing in the future of independent media. Please visit patreon.com/The Joy of Creation Production House to join our community today. Thank you for listening and supporting our podcast dreams.